We are back. Welcome to season 3 of Vinyl Authority. AJ, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, man. I've been waiting for this for quite a long time. I
Right,
missed I
right.
missed all of you immensely.
Yeah. Well, it feels good to be missed. Yeah, we've taken a little bit of a winter break here, but we're back in action, and the music never stopped, of course. So we're lucky for that. And I'm sure, just like always, we have lots of interesting things to share. Just want to remind the viewers, both new and old, to if you're discovering this for the first time, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified that future episodes are posted, click again and ring that bell, and that'll turn notifications on for our vinyl interest podcast. So anyway, and the spirit of this is always in the sharing, right? The beautiful thing about the vinyl lifestyle is sharing great music on vinyl with friends and family, and sharing the love. So there you go. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Uh, so let's just dive into it, AJ. What's been spinning on your platter since last we
I've got
met?
a gem, my friend, that we both love this artist. I'll speak for you regarding that. And I didn't know that Trevor Rabin has a recent release, and I can't even remember how I came about it. Other than maybe I know what it was. I was watching a Trevor Horn video about the making of 902. The Yes
90210. Yeah,
nine
yeah.
no, not 90210. Is that what
Nine
it is?
nine oh. I think.
Oh, that's Beverly Hills.
Yeah, yeah. I think it might be the same thing.
Is it 90125?
I know one two
Maybe.
five. I know one
Okay,
two
cool.
five.
Thank you.
How about that?
Anyway, the awesome documentary about that wreck on YouTube,
Yeah,
given by Trevor Horn. So it's
yeah,
very in depth. And I know a lot about that record anyway because I'm a big Chris Blackwell fan. So he's connected with Trevor Horn, and I've always kind of kept up with those guys. And I think Trevor Horn's one of the best producers over the last 30
oh,
years. I think.
amazing guy.
Okay.
Uh, Wide variety of production styles and musical styles and talents. No, he's an absolute wizard for sure.
Yeah. And so they were just talking about how that record came about and what a genius Trevor Rabin is.
Yeah,
And it made me remember, like, we used to listen to him all the time, and I haven't listened to him in a long time.
yeah,
But it led me to this new album, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get it." I don't, I read one review and it was great, but I don't. If I love the artist, I don't really worry about it too much because I know I'm gonna love it. So I just bought it, and it freaking blew my mind. He's been working on this since, did we say Can't Look Away from 1989?
I can't. Yeah, I can't look away.
That
Yeah,
was the last record that we both loved, and I mean, I give that record a 10. I love that record.
record. Alan White on drums.
And
Just
then from that, right, he joined Yes and was in Yes and worked with those guys for a while, and then got out of it and did soundtracks.
yeah,
And you've heard his music because he's on huge blockbuster movies. So he basically got away from the rock and roll business. Other than he kept playing with Rick Wakeman and John Anderson.
hmm
Even I don't know if I forgot. Maybe they came up with a new name, a band name or something. Anyway, so he's had some of these tunes thinking about him for a long time, and then of course during COVID he wasn't making any movie soundtracks. So he decided to get back into this. And um, when COVID sort of started working itself out and people went back to work, he started getting calls for soundtracks. And he told his agent, I'm going to finish this record. I don't want to do any more soundtrack music, and I'm going to finish this record. And
Rock
man, this thing is unbelievable. He plays pretty
record.
much all the instruments except drums, and the drummers are Vinny Colaiuta and the other guy that I can't remember the other guy's name, but he's brilliant.
Couple of slouches.
Who is it?
I was making a joke. I
Oh,
said the slouches, right? Vinny
yeah, exactly. Slouch drummers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, and this pressing comes with a DVD release also,
Oh,
and it's color vinyl,
mm,
and it's woo. Watch out, Wiener.
beauty. Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's he painted the album cover.
oh yeah.
So, but the music is just phenomenal. So highly recommended from RadioKAJW.
All
And
right.
Paul, I know what a big fan you are, so I thought I'd share it on our first episode back to inspire you to go get one.
Yes, I have been listening to it online, but I need to.
It sounds amazing. Does it? I hope on a line because the
Oh
freaking
yeah.
vinyl pressing is unreal. It's so good.
I mean, listen, Adam. It's easy to make stuff sound good on a digital stream or download. Actually, I mean, reasonable. But it's one thing to have the warmth and the character of the vinyl and have that tactile experience, right? Which is undeniable, right? And
Yeah,
you make a great point, right? That artwork, that jacket, that whole package. That's why you buy physical music, right? That's the reason. You can't get that
nice
on a
picture.
download or a stream. Yeah.
Nice picture of the
Yeah.
gent.
Gorgeous Strat. He's been rocking that one forever. That's gorgeous.
And,
So that's
and
Raven's Rio.
you're also talking about somebody that really knows what he's doing in a recording studio. So it's freaking gold. The record is gold. It's a masterpiece.
That's absolutely.
It was released last year, and if I would have gotten it last year, I would have definitely put it in my top 3 records of last year for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there you go. There's my first pick.
Cool. Great share.
Thanks.
Well, I don't have any new music to share. I have old music because I went on a bit of an old music on vinyl buying spree. Some of the things that I either had on vinyl but gave away when I thought those days were over, or stuff that I never had on vinyl, which they've since gone into repressings and re-releases. So the first one is one that I know you are going to remember and you're going to love.
Awesome.
Jellyfish Spilt Milk. And this is, the story of Jellyfish. Fantastic band. Had way more music in them than just 2 records, but that's really all that they were able to complete. And this was their second, and it was just an absolute production masterpiece. They borrowed a little bit from the graphics from the studio. This is a wonderful picture of I believe that's Ocean Way Studio. And this record, but for the folks back home, first of all, Andy Sturmer and Roger Manning, really outstanding songwriters, outstanding musicians, but the production on this record, which is a combination of Manning and Sturmer, but you cannot deny the impact that Jack Joseph Puig and Albie Gluten, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Albie Galuten.
That was one of J.J. Puig's first smashes, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you ignore, I think when was this? When did this come out?
I guess critical smashes.
Yeah.
That record's that's one of those records where I don't know commercially what the numbers are, but in the music industry and musicians love that record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody wants to sound a little bit like that because these guys borrowed from the greats, and you listen to it and you go, "This is some fresh songwriting," but the instrumentation and some of the production could echo anything from Beach Boys to Queen to name four other, just classic sort of production styles, and it's all in there. But they make it their own.
I would have said the Beatles before the Beach Boys, but I hear the Beach Boys in them as
It's
well.
all, oh yeah, it's all in there. They're using orchestral instrumentation. They've got, you
Great
know,
singing,
keys,
great singing.
and the singing is awesome. Yeah, I mean it's just it's a real awesome production,
Yeah,
and that's Jellyfish Spilt Milk, and that is
nice.
it is definitely one for the collection.
I don't have that on vinyl, so now that I know there's a reissue, I might go
It's
get it.
it's available, yeah, and I keep waiting for Belly Button to come out because that was you introduced me to that. I remember when that record came out, and it was just like, oh my gosh, these guys are amazing. Um, all right, I've got a little something for the book corner. And I may have shared this before, but because we took this break and so on, I wanted to share. Does this look familiar? Thousand record covers?
So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we spend a lot of time talking about the artwork and so on. And this is written by Michael Oakes, who is one of the leaders in rock and roll photography archiving. And he's taken the time to publish this book, and just really just beautiful, beautiful pictures,
I
and
think
just
the last time
all.
I tried to get you to look up my dad's name.
Oh, right, yeah. Did we find
I
it?
don't know. I don't think it's in there. I think it's
Oh,
Bob Marley "Catch a Fire," the original album cover. Is
right.
usually is always in the top 100 Rolling Stones album covers, and they
Yeah.
always have a little write up and happen to mention my dad's name along with Rod Dyer, who's the other designer that he designed the
Yeah.
album package with.
But I mean, yeah, this was the heyday right here, and it really just covers the evolution from the 50s on into present day or near present day. But wonderful sort of a documentation of again, one of the important reasons why physical music is still worthy, because of the package, and the artwork is the package. It's what draws you to it when you're flipping through the bin, and makes you take a second look, and makes you flip it over and go, who is this band, and what are they doing with this image? So anyway, great book to pick up. I was looking for a little bit of rock and roll news, and wondering if you've heard anything great on some equipment or anything recorded music that's happening out there.
Um, I have tragedy on my mind, rock and roll tragedy.
Oh, rock and roll tragedy.
Yeah,
Please
which I
share.
was. I'll on the next episode I'll share the record. Carl Wallinger passed away recently from World Party, and
Yeah,
he was
it's a big one.
super influential in my producing and recording career.
Right.
And I've seen him live a few times, and I found the ticket stubber the last time I saw him, which was 2009 at the El Rey, and
Hmm.
I was leaning on the stage. It was great, great show.
Yeah.
And I was really that really bummed me out because he died way too early, and I knew he was. Uh, a mutual friend of ours, Sam, mentioned to me that he knew that he was sick, which I didn't know. I mean, I knew that he had an aneurysm um, before I saw him live. I think I know he recovered from it, but I didn't know he was sick. So that it surprised the heck out of me. He seemed like a young guy, and I was still paying attention to his interviews online, and he was talking about a new album coming up. So I was really excited about it. So it took me by surprise, and it was it's hard. I have it on my mind every day since he passed away, which was, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. So
Right.
anyway,
Yeah.
that's the thing that's at the forefront of my rock and roll brain.
Yeah. Well, we have actually suffered quite a number of tragedies since we last broadcast, and yeah, it's some of our idols and yeah, the folks we looked up to or the folks that entertained us or just put these fantastic packages of music into our hands. They're leaving these earthly bounds, and it's heavy. But I would say that the one beauty of this recorded music thing is that we're not left empty. We have their legacy, and currently we have their legacy that was commercialized, and I'm sure that they'll go through the archives and the files, and we might get another little glimpse or two of what the genius was, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's heavy.
Actually, Mike Scott of the Waterboys, who Carl Wallinger was a big part of the Waterboys when they first started getting traction.
Hmm. Hmm.
The This Is the Sea record, he's got a 6 CD box set coming out with exactly what you just said. It's all supposedly there's like a 10-minute jam of him writing in real time "The Whole of the Moon," which is one of their best. I think it's one of the best songs he ever wrote. So supposedly it was a jam. They're in the studio, and he's basically writing the song as it's happening, and he's
Hmm.
going to release that as part of this box set. So that's something new that plays to exactly what you just said. So that's
Right.
I'm I don't know. There's not many artists from back then that I would want to listen to 6 CDs of one record.
Right.
That's one
Right.
of them. I think it's probably going
It's
to be great. I
investment.
love that record. I love both those guys, man. World Party and the Waterboys. I still buy Waterboys records. I bought it. I own every Waterboys records. I think Mike Scott's great.
Yeah.
There you go. A little bit
You
of both,
know,
new and
what I like when you get these box sets is in some cases you're able to hear the evolution of a song, right?
yeah,
You get
right.
to hear the cassette demo where it's just the artist, maybe an acoustic
The
guitar just kind of
the
singing, and
the
then you hear the home multi-track demo, which will have a drum machine on it and a little bit of more production, and then finally you hear
the
the
article that it was in Mojo, one of the last Mojo magazines, and it said that exactly that. Also, that a lot of what you're going to hear is from a cassette, but I kept them in great condition.
yeah,
So and probably at that point, I think that was their third record. I think so. So he's got good recording equipment, even for a cassette player, and good
sure,
microphones. And if
probably.
he's got a good microphone sitting up somewhere and playing, it's going to sound great.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, you and I both know, that's really how it all starts. Just a musical idea into a cassette machine, and
Can
release the hounds. It's a wonderful. Hey, let's talk a little bit about an article that I found late last year. This is from StudyFinds.org, and it's a survey of the best record players, which is always a big uh, uh, feature on this program because a lot of people are either equipping for vinyl for the first time, or some are re-equipping, like I did some time ago. And top-rated, affordable turntables, Audio Technica AT-LP 120 XBT. It's got a USB connector now, which is great for those guys who want to take it into their computer. The number two top rated is the Project Audio Debut Carbon Evo, and the Fluence RT82 comes in as third. So uh, they are continuing to innovate the record player format. They're adding contemporary features like USB and Bluetooth and other features. But the idea is still to put affordable but sonically superior equipment out there in the hands of the record enjoying public. And so I always like to feature the new gear. So that's a little bit of our gear roundup for today's episode.
cool.
And And, I think we've pretty much exhausted the time in this episode, but I think we've done a bang up job. It's almost like we never got off the horse.
Good to talk about sharing music, brother.
Yeah, man. It's all good. And again, just a reminder, subscribe. And what else do we do at this time? Don't we talk a little bit about our social media plugs? I guess we're on Facebook and Twitter, and I don't know. Anyway, we do stuff.
Rock on.
I'll let the post-production do
Hey,
that.
Paul, catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side, AJ. Have a good one.
See you, buddy.
Cheers.